name is Rabbi Jason Holtz from Bromley Reformed Synagogue, and this week we begin a brand new book in the Torah, Devarim, or the Book of Words, or Deuteronomy as it's called in English. And it's the Book of Words because in it Moses gives a series of speeches to the Israelites before they head into the Promised Land, which is a bit odd, come to think of it, a book of speeches by a man named Moses. When we first met Moses, not too long afterwards anyways, he said to God that he didn't really think himself to be a good prophet because he was slow of speech. Hey man, what's up? Everyone thinks I'm slow of speech. I just got nothing to say. I hang out with sheep all day. I'm a shepherd. My life's kind of dull. But now Moses is full of words. He can't seem to get them out quick enough. So I've been in the wilderness for 40 years, and over that entire 40 years, I couldn't make it one extra day to make it into the Promised Land with the Israelites. So I'm about to die, and before I do, I need to tell the Israelites everything that I've ever learned, everything that's important for them to take with them into the Promised Land. I'm going to just give them speech after speech after speech, because I have so much to share. I have so much wisdom to impart. I have to tell them how important it is to be good, how important it is not to be kind of terrible. I need to tell them the Ten Commandments again because, they might forget. I need to tell them about the Shema. I need to tell them all this stuff. And I am going to give the speech of my lifetime in maybe something that will be called Devarim, the Book of Words. Who would have ever thought Moses had words to say to people? People would never believe that about my former self. You see, for Moses, the difference between a younger Moses and an older Moses is that Torah happened to him. When Moses said that he was slow of speech, perhaps one understanding is that at the time, Moses was a wonderful person, don't get me wrong. He had saved some slaves from an Egyptian taskmaster. He had helped out some women at the well who were running into some trouble from some bandits. But for the most part, his life was very quiet. He was living out in the middle of nowhere, tending to some sheep, and all the things that we think of as really important parts of Moses' life hadn't yet happened. He had not yet gone to Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." He had not yet led the Israelites out into the wilderness. He had not yet climbed Mount Sinai to hear the word of God and to receive Torah. He had not marched in the wilderness and camped with the Israelites for 40 years. But all of that had happened since the time that Moses said he was slow of speech and the beginning of Deuteronomy. So here's an explanation. Torah happened to Moses. Torah transformed Moses. All of a sudden, after having had this 40-year experience of living Torah, living most of the book of Exodus, living the book of Leviticus, and living through the book of Numbers, after having experienced all of that, after having experienced that Torah, Moses was a transformed person. He was no longer the same person who he was because of all the experiences that he had. And it gave him a new sort of zeal, a new sort of purpose that he wanted to share with other people through his words that he felt called upon to share with other people. And that's why we have these series of speeches in the book of Deuteronomy from Moses. It's a lesson for all of us that if we open ourselves to Torah, we too can be transformed in the best possible way. That's the power of Torah. That's the power of learning, the power of education. Something that Jewish people have always known that learning and Torah has the power to do. Something that can still have a great effect on us if we are open to it. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends so we can continue to grow our community. Bye now.